Hey, board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back in the Gumbo pot with another unboxing and an overview of one of the coolest games we listed on our Essen 2024 list. That's right, it's the Yellow House, and I've played a lot of it on BGA, mostly getting beat by Cam from the Board Boys over and over and over again. But I finally got my hands on a physical copy from our friends at 25th Century Games. I want to thank Chad and them for sending us this review copy, but I'm really excited because I want to look at what the physical copy looks like. I'll also kind of tell you a little bit about how it plays. Do not look to me for advice on how to win. Let's get right to that Game Toppers LLC table so we can take a look at this beautiful two-player trick-taking, sort of ladder climbing, card shedding game. There's a lot going on in this tiny little box. Let's take a look. Had Jay from Cardboard East on the show. I've had a couple of times now. Jay's one of my favorite YouTube guys. If you haven't seen his YouTube channel, check that out. But we had kind of a mutual love fest of Geonil, and I gotta say, Geonil's the designer of the Yellow House, designer of Jekyll and Hyde, which I haven't played yet, but also designer of Ptolemy, one of my favorite two-player card games, and lots of other games. But Geonil took a challenge on. We'll say you can't make a two-player trick-taking game. Done, as Jay says. He's going to get it done. And each one of these has kind of a unique theme. Now, I will tell you this. Many, at least Ptolemy, the game that I played, I'm not so sure it really fits the theme perfectly. Although, you know, all the different planets are moving around. But I was anxious when I saw the Essen list, that yellow list, the Yellow House was coming out from Mondu, because this one seemed like it might just fit the theme about as close as you can from an abstract card game. And then I was super excited because 25th Century Games did this big Kickstarter and had all these imported games. Yeah, this isn't a review copy. I actually backed the Kickstarter on this one. I totally forgot about that. I backed the Kickstarter for Yellow House, and also I got the Hamster Roll promo pieces. So, but fair enough. 25th Century Games is a big supporter of Southern Board Game Fest and has sent us plenty of review copies, so take that with a grain of salt for anything I say. But really, if you know anything about me, you know I'm going to gush about this game already. Now let's get started. What I'm gushing about is, number one, I love card games with a cool theme, and the Yellow House is a themed card game to artists in an artist colony arguing over what is important about art. What makes great art? Do you need money? Do you need inspiration? Do you need passion? Do you need skill? And that's what the four elements of these. That's the hard suits in here. And so they argued about this, and our goal is to try to get rid of all of our cards. But what we're really trying to do is show that what we believe, what we're arguing for, passion or skill, is what makes art important. Okay, so the Yellow House has a beautiful, absolutely beautiful cover. I actually can't read who the artist is. I apologize. It's a co-publishing between 20th Century and Mondu. It's got a tiny little rule book. I haven't actually read the rules because Cam taught me the game, and I will explain over here. But the rule book looks, rule book looks fine. It's got lots of color illustrations here. It shows how to use the cards. A gameplay example. Oh, thank God, I like gameplay examples. Into the round and the in game. I'll explain all those to you. And it's got the game credits. The illustration is by Edu Vallis, and of course, Geonil is the designer. All right, let's put that aside. And only playing on BGA. I don't know what all this stuff is going to look like. Although I did see a great video from W. Eric Martin, so I kind of know what to expect. We've got a cloth board. I'm not the biggest fan of cloth board instead of cardboard, but in this case, it seems to kind of make sense. We're talking about art. We're talking about craft. So you have this beautiful picture of an artist studio, and in the artist studio, you'll notice that they have a high, like a ladder of ranking. That's going to be the strength of the suits as we play them. Well, look at this. It looks like one of those artist boxes. Wow. Not expecting this. I did not see any unboxings or anything to get ready for this video. I wanted to kind of be surprised. In fact, I've been dying to open this thing up. Oh, look, just This just looks so cool. This looks like an artist box that you see. You go to any home hobby store. Okay, this is a mark that we see in lots of games from Geonil. I don't know if Geonil does the original illustrations. I kind of think that they do. And there's always these chunky wooden components in Geonil's games, like in Ptolemy. And in this case, we've got the 4 different parts of art: passion, skill, money, and inspiration. And each of these are going to start here at the bottom. So all the suits are ranked the same. These palettes, they're not typically necessary, but all that's going to do is going to mark if you win. If you win the round, you'll put the card underneath there. It marks that it's your card, and it's going to be important, which I'll explain in just a second. And then, of course, we have this 28 card deck. And that's the totality of what's inside this box. Oh, I just love this box. This is so cool. Chad, well done. I don't know how much Chad had on this one, if this is different from the original Mondu edition, but it's impressive. This is really, this is a keeper. Okay. Look, I'm gushing and I'm not paying attention, but we've got these cards. And I said 28 card deck. It's actually a little bigger than that because we have these right here. And this is, yeah, it's the same on both sides. I wasn't sure because of BGA. So Van Gogh buys this house, this yellow house, in this artist little community. And he invites a bunch of artists to come in and paint. He invites Gauguin to paint. And he and Gauguin, although I guess they're friends, if I remember my history right, they argue all the time. What's more important? Inspiration? No. You need money? No. You need skill? No. You need passion. So that's the conceit of this game, or the theme of this game, the setting. And this card is on the side, it's a boost. Whenever you're trying to increase the value of these suits, there's a couple of different ways to do it. But one of the ways is to use these little cards with Van Gogh on the front of them. So there's only 5 of those, and no player can use more than 3 in a round. All right, then we've got our deck. It's 28 cards made up of 4 different suits. Got the skill and the passion and the money and the inspiration. We'll shake up these. We'll shake or shuffle up this deck, and notice that the deck has representations of both Van Gogh and Gauguin. Shuffle up this deck, and then we're gonna deal out the entire deck to both players except for 4 cards. We won't look at those 4 cards. So in essence, even though there are 7 cards from each suit, or skill, passion, inspiration, the thematic setting, we won't know all of it won't be perfect information in the first round. And then once we have that, so let's set aside 4 cards here. And let's just say we have 12 in here. That's pretty close to. All right. Then each player is going to look at their hand, and they'll pick 2 cards to exchange with the other one. That's typical on a trick-taking game, right? Okay. So once we've done that, let's say we have done that already. Now each side has their hand. What we're trying to do is get rid of our entire hand. And by doing that, we're going to play cards. If you've played Ptolemy, you're going to understand this concept. Geonil likes to play around with how a trick taker is played. Everybody makes trick takers that say you play a card and you must follow it. Is Geonil's idea is you play the lead card and you can't follow it. So if I decide to start out with skill, for instance, skill is a level 1. Now, I forgot to say this. So once we trade those 2 cards, we'll reveal the 2 cards that have been traded, and that's going to set our first. That'll set what the level of each of the suits is going to be. So since the 2 players decided that these are the 4 cards that were traded, skill is going to move up 2, money's going to move up 1, and inspiration will move up there. Okay. So that being done, all right. Remember I was telling you Geonil likes to play around with how it works. So if I choose, let's say I choose passion first. If I play passion, I played it as a 1. We know that from the ladder here. So now the next player can't play passion. They have to play another card. So they'll probably want to play these other cards, maybe not jump all the way there because they won't remember the object of the game is try to get rid of cards at the same time winning rounds. If you get rid of all your cards first before the other player, you've won that round. And you want to set it up to do that. So let's say I play the green card, right? Now back to this player. This player has to try to beat. We've got the red card first as a 1, the green card as a 2. They could play a purple card, the skill card, because that's a 3. That's higher than the green. It's a ladder climbing game. You have to beat the last card that's been played if you want to play a card. But the other way they can do that is boost. So they could use the yellow card to boost it up. All we have to do is discard one card that matches that, or 2 if we want to. But I think if I remember right, you can only boost up to what you need. So now that the green has been played as a 2, I need to get it to a 3. I'll boost the yellow to 3, and then I'll play the 3. And now I'm at a 3, which is higher than the 2. And I've also got to get rid of an extra card. Back to this player. The only thing that hasn't been played is purple. We've got a bunch of purples in this deck. So we could boost this purple like that. That moves it to 4. And then play a 4. If you're going to boost, you must be able to play that card. And I've got that card. I've got that suit in my hand. So I could do that. And that would finish that part. Now, the other way to boost, instead, if I did, maybe I want to save my purples. Again, don't take strategic advice from me, but maybe I want to save my purples so that I can play just kind of a run at the end of the rounds, just playing really high, strong purple cards. So I could use one of these cards instead to boost and then play the purple as a 4 by using his card here, Van Gogh's card here, to actually boost it. I can do that up to 3 times in a round because there's only 5 cards and you can't use more than the majority. All right, so at the end, when everybody's played, if I've won, that's the last card that was played. I've won that round. No one else can play. Oh, actually, no. Sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. If we played all the cards and then that last card is the one that I played. Let's say we got rid of all the cards. Now I've got the purple. So let me just briefly talk about the in-game trigger. And what we're talking about is you either have to win. This is so unique. This is so cool. You either have to win the same suit twice, so you've really shown the other player that that's what's important about art, that skill is the most important thing. Or you're only going to play 5 rounds at the most, or win a 3rd round. So either, let's say that I won with skill the first round, and then the next player went out with money as the next one. Now, either one of us during this round, we're either trying to win that same suit that we won, so that way we've proven our idea about art is correct, or try to win 3. So let's say the next time I win a red, now I've got these 2. Now I've got 2 chances to win. I can either win, actually 3. I've got either win any suit at all, and then I've got the 3rd one, right? So really it's just 1. While this player is fighting, they've got to try to get to either the 3 or to try to get money as the one that's going to be the winner. So it's got this unique balance of the play of your actual hand. I'm trying to get rid of these cards. The play of the actual overall set of hands, so that I can go out first and be the person that declares that that's my strong argument, and also somehow finagle my way to try to get the same argument twice in a row, or win 3 arguments, which takes a little bit longer. So there's that tension between the 3 that I just haven't uncracked yet. I just haven't unlocked. But it is fascinating, and it's something that I really want to explore more. All right, that's everything in the box and kind of a general overview. This is not a rules teach. You'll want to read the rule book yourself, because I was taught by Cam, and we played mostly on BGA turn-based. We played a bunch of games, and I just can't crack the strategy yet. So I'm super glad that I've got my copy, my Kickstarter copy of The Yellow House came in, so I can teach it and start playing it in person and maybe try to figure out something. I think in a game like this, I'm gonna want to have a setup in my hand that's going to be a little bit luck based on the draw that you get of the 12 cards, but also understanding the information that each round I'm going to develop, because I'm going to start to see more and more cards that have been played. So I'll know a little bit more about what my opponent has. Remember, we switched 2 cards. Plus, I'm going to see the cards that are already exposed. And plus, I've got the cards in my hand with only 28 cards. I get better and better information as the game goes along. I think the crack here, the combination lock that I've got to unpick is going to be figuring out a way to just setting up my hand to make that run. I remember in Ptolemy, if you played a bunch of strong hands, kind of in that, let's say the game is 3 reels like a movie. In that second reel, if you went too strong too early, then you kind of just sat there in the third reel just watching your opponent play all their cards and probably going out before you can finish. You have to leave yourself some strength at the end to be able to get that knockout blow. And I think, if I have no idea, but I'm thinking that's what Geonil was doing here. Geonil liked that idea and told me and said, okay, how can I make that even stronger? And it's ingenious the way that the arguments about the different parts of art are going to push these up, and the inclusion of the Van Gogh cards are going to give you the ability to look at your hand and set it up to where you can just have a nice fat run at the end, close out your opponent. You kind of want to me, this is going to be kind of a setup game. You want to make sure that you've set up your hand that you can have a strong finish. Maybe I'm wrong. Post in the comments below if you've played the Yellow House and you have a better idea on how to beat Cam, because I really want to take Cam on again. I'm definitely bringing this to conventions, by the way. It's going to be in my backpack. Anybody, because it doesn't take long, something like 20 or 30 minutes, right? 2 players with a 5-minute teach. So it's a perfect game to play before we get something to eat or before we're moving on to our next demo. So if you want to try it, come hit me up at VGGCon in the fall. More importantly, if you have played it and you've got any ideas on how to play better, let me know so that I can try to get better before the convention season starts. All right, that's Yellow House from 25th Century Games. Look, 25th Century Games has been knocking it out with their import collections each year. Make sure you take a look at those Kickstarters, because you're gonna find some jewels. This game made a lot of top anticipated lists at Essen, and it is as gorgeous as you think. So I'm really glad that I have it. But until next time, Laissez, temps, rouler.